Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards, where we love to help improve your home and improve your life. Thanks for hanging out with us this weekend.
I love Sly Stone. You hear that?
Yeah.
Like Sly and the Family Stone. One of my faves.
There's a lot of fun things that you can be doing around whether you live in an apartment or a house this weekend. And so we thought we'd talk about something that is really a great thing to do because it is tomato time.
Tomato time! Ba-ba-bom.
There's some great things that you can do because really tomatoes are so yummy. And I just discovered that you really shouldn't put a tomato in the refrigerator.
See, now I've been doing that for years. After they get ripe, I put them in there just to try and preserve them longer. That's not okay?
Well, I was doing some research on this, and I think that's the reason why my tomatoes turn kind of pithy.
What is it?
And mealy. Pithy. Or mealy. They get mushy.
I don't hate
like that.
No, I got to tell you, I just picked one yesterday out of my own garden. Put it in the olive oil with the buffalo mozzarella.
Yes.
Fresh basil.
Oh, you mean a caprese salad?
That's exactly what I mean.
With a little...
And you know what? All of a sudden, I had puffy sleeves, and I was paddling a gondola in my imagination as I was consuming this thing. It was so good. There's nothing like growing your own food, and the tomatoes come out so great. I urge everyone to give it a shot, even if it's a container.
In a container. In fact, you know what? A lot of folks feel that their experience with growing tomatoes in containers can be sometimes better than in the ground. Because why? Because if you plant it too close to certain things like a tree, the roots of the tree are competing for nourishment with the tomato. It's like, you're in the line at the buffet and like, hey, get out of my way. I want this sauce.
And see, this and this is the point of growing organic and why I think the food tastes a little bit better. It's more nutrient rich, and I think we've got a magnesium deficiency in our diets
there you go.
in the world right now. This is a big problem, and that's because all those nutrients are being leached out because either soil is being used too much and asked to be worked too hard, or you just have bad produce that's not ripe enough, and it comes from some other world, and it's not given the time to properly vine ripen, if you will.
So the key to tomatoes, among other things, soil. You hit the nail on the head. It's all about the soil, and so think about growing your tomatoes with some great soil that you find somewhere that you also kind of amend, and you put it in a container and keep it away from the tree so it's not competing with those other guys.
I'm going to say organic compost.
Composting and mulch is huge.
That's the one for fruits and vegetables that you can either buy at the big box store, or there are actual places out there that sell huge amounts of soil for like $25 to fill a pickup truck.
Well, you did that the other day,
I did
right?
it the other day. I
Just
went to this great
up.
place, and they just take a scooper and they put it in the back of your pickup truck. $25 later, you got enough soil, nitro-rich compost to make all your flowers and plants and vegetables just flourish.
So let's talk about some other things that you can do to be brilliant, to be successful as a tomato grower, right?
Okay, yeah.
So if you're going to start from seeds, I'm not really patient enough to grow vegetables or edibles from seed. I want it now, so I usually go and buy the little plant. And
I buy the starter plants too.
I'll buy the artichoke, I'll buy the bell pepper, whatever. But if you do want to grow seeds, because seedlings can be so inexpensive, the one mistake that a lot of people make is that they crowd them.
They crowd them, and also, you know what else happens with plants? Here's what the deal is. You don't get quite as large a variety when you go with plants at the big box stores, because they're gonna give you what they give you. But if you go with seeds, you can get unusual species that you may not be able to get otherwise.
More of the heirloom.
I know
varieties.
It took a minute to get to, but you follow me, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Also, you want to make sure that you give the tomato a lot of light. I mean, they need a lot of light, at least 7 to 8 hours of sunlight. And so if you don't have that, you're going to be challenged.
Yeah, you sure are. And also the way they're watered. You know what I mean? Like the drip system is a way better way to go. If you can do it and you've got drips available, you get the water right at the stalk where it comes out of the ground rather than spraying it from the top with some kind of a spray system. Works much better.
You definitely want to mulch. Are you doing a lot of mulch with your little garden and your vegetables? Yeah.
And I'm also going to do the brown bark at the end of the day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that holds it in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, mulch can be anything. I mean, you can use wine corks for mulch. You can use shells.
You probably have plenty of those to go around, don't you?
You can use...
Except with the box. I can't put box wine on top of my plants.
No, that doesn't look... No, that wouldn't look very pretty. Although I was just thinking it probably would work,
It
it's
probably would, but
recyclable.
see,
It's a carton.
I'm giving them back to the LA recycling program
Sure,
that we just talked
right,
about, so
right.
I'm not going to put them in the garden.
Well, so anyway, something else to think about is how do you then pinch and prune for more tomatoes?
I don't know this. What do you recommend?
Well, you want to kind of monitor this because it's going to increase the amount of tomatoes that you have. So you want to pinch and remove. Well, first you want to remove the bottom leaves. Once the tomato plants are about 3 inches tall or so, you want to remove the leaves from about an inch of the stem. And the reason why you're going to do this because this is going to again give the tomato the energy to produce more fruit.
Well, so they're like suckers on a tree.
Exactly.
You don't want
it's competing against
It's competing
itself.
for the fine
Yeah,
nutrient rich
right.
stuff that goes into the plant.
And then so you're pinching and removing the suckers that develop well in the bottom of joint of the two.
You know what
branches.
I call them, don't you?
What?
Jive suckers.
Chive suckers. And because then if you don't get rid of them, they won't bear the fruit, and it's going to take all that energy away.
Yeah.
So just try to do that when you can. And you definitely, after you're planting your tomato plants, you want to water them deeply and regularly, but they have to have drainage too. It's that fine line.
Sure. Yeah. Have you ever done the ones where you hang them upside down?
You know, you see them on TV all the time, don't you? And you
I've
see
never
'em-
done them.
I haven't either. And you hear nothing but good things
Could
about
be
it.
a great option for somebody in an apartment complex, condo, balcony area. It might be a nice way to save some space. Kind of reminds me of that vertical gardening we talk about with the succulents hanging on a wall. Same thing with the tomatoes.
But you definitely don't want to overwater. If the ground is wet 3 inches down, this is a tip. You shouldn't water. That's what some of the
So poke your finger, poke
Yeah,
your finger
feel it
down.
and get
if
in
you
there.
feel there's moisture, you don't need to water.
Yeah, and if you're expecting some rain, it might be a good time then to pick your tomatoes early and allow them to ripen inside.
Yeah, but not in the refrigerator. Otherwise, they get pithy and mealy. See how fast I learn?
You do.
It's amazing.
And maybe if you're thinking about doing containers, you can get some kind of a smart pot tub that's made of this rigid fabric.
Wait, you didn't say hot tub, did
I
you?
didn't say hot tub.
Pot
no.
tub. You said pot tub.
Hot. No, it's smartpots.com is a website that has these pot tubs that are actually pretty good to grow your edibles in.
Oh, okay.
Because it's made of this rigid fabric. So
Oh, great.
Kind of hold the moisture in a little
Sure.
bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yet also give you some drainage.
Now, what's your favorite tomato?
Well, there's so many different ones. Sunset Magazine came out with their list of 5 really great ones. I mean, Brandywine is always great because it's big. It's like the beefsteak type of tomatoes. But I like the tomatoes that come in different colors, like the green zebra. Have you ever tried those?
Yeah, I have them last year. They were great. They worked well.
Or the different purple and almost black tomatoes.
So like the heirloom stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sungold tomatoes, those, of course, are the ones that kind of ripen in a cluster. And so
Sure.
you feel like you have a bouquet of tomatoes.
Yep.
They're really fruity and flavorful. And by the way, here's another tip. When you're at the grocery store, just like the tomatoes when you're picking them, the ones that you've grown yourself, you should be able to, it should smell like a tomato.
It should.
Yeah, right at the vine. It should smell like a tomato.
Yeah, that's the ones that you get at the cheaper restaurants that they've
Ah.
dyed or whatever to make them look ripe. They have absolutely no flavor and no fragrance.
Sweet 100 is another really great sweet cherry-type tomato. And it's a very easy and handy and ripe, sun-warm fruit that I think you're going to really love. So try that one for your garden this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do. And then I've had success with creating little bamboo stakes.
Yeah, of course.
Almost like
a cage. You want to have a tomato cage.
Exactly. Almost like a teepee. Where you have
A teepee,
five little bamboo stakes, and then you wrap twine on the top.
Or hair clippies work for that.
Do they?
Those little hair clippies,
Oh,
they look like little butterflies. They're teeny tiny clips. And,
Yeah.
And those are great not only for orchids, but for tomatoes to hold a small, tender vine, to some kind of a cage
Sure,
or
that's a good
trellis.
idea, actually.
Oh, one more tomato. You and your marinara sauce. You've got to grow the San Marzano. These are the tomatoes that are the Italian paste tomato, and it makes that really, really rich sauce. But
So it's like a Roma tomato.
It
almost.
is. It's
yes.
that kind of. It's the Roma shape. It's more of that cylinder
Hold on.
kind
What's
of a
that?
shape.
What's that one called?
It's called San Marzano.
So that when I buy the fancy ones in the can, that's what they are.
Exactly,
the San Marzano.
Exactly.
Oh.
But want to grow them. So definitely try that.
Okay, I will try
So
that.
consider all
Good
this.
idea.
And now's the time. So get out there and get some tomatoes and be a super grower.
And because I grow stuff, my kids actually eat vegetables that I grow. Even if it's in a restaurant, I say these are the ones I grow at home. They're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll have that. But if it's something that I haven't grown before,
They won't try it.
It's like, eating, plastic to them.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to take you to another area of your home and help you figure out what to do when you're shopping for a grill. There are some things to think about. How do you know that you're spending your money the right way? So as you're enjoying your outdoor living, your outdoor cooking, that you're making the smart investment. That's next here at Home Wizards. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We're here to improve your home and improve your life. If you're wondering how much it costs to remodel a home, $10,000, $50,000? Well, actually, the most dramatic and the least expensive of all is, with color. And that's why Dunn Edwards Paints has created this perfect palette collection with 1,696 paint colors, from dreamy blue to striking red to, even they have a melon in there. Are you going to ever get that cantaloupe for your front door?
I've researched it, and yes, I am doing it.
All right,
wait till you see.
Hurry up and do it, darn it. And by the way, did you know that Dunn Edwards is continuing to be the leader in paint for contractors? So go to their website, dunnedwards.com, and you'll see you can get their free 8-ounce perfect palette samplers and learn on their website how to choose color and how to match them room by room. So go to dunnedwards.com, dunnedwards.com.